Hello and welcome to Patriot Stadium for today's girls soccer matchup that features the Wayne Valley Indians and your Wayne Hills Patriots. Alongside Jason Hook, I am Noah Sandler as we bring you this matchup. The Patriots girls soccer team has a record of 9-1-1 going into tonight, with their only loss being to Watchung Hills and a close one in a 1-2 game. And Wayne Valley has a record of 10-3 on the year. Both of these teams have looked great this year, which will hopefully give us a good game in this rivalry matchup between these two teams. Now, Jason, who is your key player for tonight?
My key player for tonight is Sophia Bradley. It seems like every single game she's been a key player. She's done amazing so far this year. She has 16 goals, the leading scorer. She's accounted for a third of the team's goals so far this season. And she's just been a great player to watch on the field, and I have no doubt that she's going to do great again today.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about her over and over and over again. She has 16 goals, as you said, which is great to see for this team. And these two teams are two really good teams in the same town, and we're really looking forward to a close matchup tonight. And then in terms of the Wayne Valley team, their top scorer is Emily Jozak, the senior, with 12 goals and 3 assists on the year, as well as Kelsey Ramos with 14 goals and 4 assists on the year. So two really good teams, as we said. Hills with a slightly better record as we're nearing the end of the last few days of the regular season and as we get into counties and states. And we're just waiting for both teams to come out onto the field, and we're also awaiting the national anthem. These two teams have played once already this year, first time being on September 14th when Hills beat Valley 3-1. So Valley's definitely going to be looking for a little bit of revenge in this game after their loss just a few weeks ago.
And currently the boys varsity team is at Wayne Valley playing against their soccer team, along with October 22nd when Hills and Valley will once again face off in a football match at Wayne Valley.
And now we're sending it over to Mr. Hiddinger for our public address announcements, and we'll be with you for the first half in just a few moments.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Positano Pizza, the finest Italian cuisine and pizzeria. Show us your Wayne Hills student ID to get 2 slices of pizza or a bowl of pasta, plus a drink for only $5.
And now welcome back to Patriot Stadium, where the Wayne Hills Patriots are playing the Wayne Valley Indians in this matchup tonight.
Wayne Hills tonight has a couple new additions to their roster, a few freshmen. Before today's game, we did see freshman Chara Seasontone getting a lot of playing time, but now we have on our roster sheets Blake Neesonson, Maddie Chesson, and Riley Sexton, the 3 freshmen, to 3 players that might make an impact in the coming years for Wayne Hills.
Now we're just waiting for both teams to get out into their starting positions. The Hills team in the county tournament had a bye, and they're going to be looking to play PCTI on Saturday, October 16th, here at Wayne Hills for the quarterfinals of their matchup. And Wayne Valley also had a bye, and they're going to be playing Clifton as well on Saturday.
We've got the girls, Wayne Valley and Wayne Hills, moments away.
Great matchup today. 2 players I'm looking at a lot are, 2 players I'm excited to see are the goalies for each team, Lacerio and McGraw for their respective teams, both with over 30 saves so far on the season.
And we are underway here at Patriot Stadium, and here is Weltman with the ball. Already looking to center it was Carney, but that goes all the way to the other side of the field and out of bounds. Now here is Seasontone on the ball. Now that's passed back over to Josic and out of bounds. It will be a Wayne Valley ball. Now that's passed down to the far corner of the field, but the defense is there to try to clear it. And now that is taken by, I believe that was, that was Josic, number 24 for the Indians. And that ball is cleared. Carney chasing after it for Hills. And that pass was intercepted by Bradley. Josic on the ball again. And that is cleared. That's passed all the way down the field to Wellman. But that is scooped up by the goalie, McGraw.
Great hustle there from Weltman. If there's, if there's one word that can really sum up the skill set of this team, it's their hustle.
Pass to Megan Weiss. Weiss looking for Sidrowski. Sidrowski just able to keep it in bounds. Still in bounds, and that ball finally goes out. It will be a Hills ball, and Sidrowski will pass it in. Now that's kept in by Bradley. And Sidrowski passes it, but that's intercepted by Wayne Valley. Now Wayne Valley with the ball. That's Ramos. Ramos centers it. And Losario's there to make the save. Josic on the ball again. And a shot taken by Kelsey Ramos, and that is a goal to the top right corner of the goal on that play early on with 36:51 to go in the first half. It is a 1-0 game to the Indians.
Ramos is the leading scorer for this Wayne Valley team. She's really showing that skill set. She got to have that turnaround kick. Very hard to do, but, 14 goals of the season. It's hard to be surprised seeing her score those.
Early lead here for the Indians. Maybe this will be a type of game where we're going to see a lot of goals, but that shot there was just too high for Losario to handle, as now we see Weiss on the ball. Now Carney passes it to Weltman, but Weltman not able to handle it before it goes out of bounds. It is a Valley ball. Rathjen for Valley to pass it in. And that ball is kicked way down the field. A little bit of a dangerous move there by Sidrowski, but she's able to clear it out of play. Now Bradley on the ball. Bradley passes it to Weltman, but that will just be too far, and it'll go out of play. That's passed into Ramos. Ramos trying to take it for herself, but Bradley's there to pick that ball off from her. The ball goes out of bounds. It will be Mia Lombardi to pass it in. Intended for Bay-Kazan, but that pass was just a little long as Elisa Wasakiki got knocked down and tripped up. Did a little bit of a flip there. Yeah, that was what Elisa Wasiki on that play, and she will come out of the game for the moment. And that will be Gabby Hammer to come in.
An unfortunate tumble there. Kind of a close call. Very dangerous slide tackle to be made, but unfortunately she is able to get back up and walk off.
Weltman. But that pass is intercepted by Valley. Tori Ryan on the ball. Passes it to Vivino. And over to Hammer. And now back over to Aaron Clark. And Clark passes it to Rathjen. Almost intercepted there by Bay Kazan. Mia Lombardi not quite able to handle it there. Now she gets the ball back. And Ava Osbach able to kind of clear it. And now really cleared. But Aaron Clark now. Nice move there by Season Tone to pass it down the field. Sophia Bradley going after it. She has a few open players, and she takes a high shot through the goalpost with 33:19 to go in the first half.
Very high shot there. Seemed like she had a few open looks. Took a little bit too much time, and those Valley defenders did catch up to her.
Now that's passed deep into about midfield. Josic on the ball. And now that is passed down. Ramos is there. And that ball goes out of bounds. It will be an Indians ball. Now that is passed in. Here's Weltman on it, trying to clear it out of her own zone, trying to figure out what to do here. She's kind of cornered in, out of bounds again. And now that will be passed in by Mia Lombardi. Still not able to clear it out. Still kind of in the corner over there. And now takes a shot, but that is saved. That was Emily Josic on the shot, and Janelle Lasario on that save. Rolls it over to Goodwin. Now Weiss on the ball. That's kept in bounds on the far end of the field. And that ball goes out. It'll be Stadrowski to pass it in. She passes it to Carney, but now Valley has some possession over it. When the whistle is blown, Hill's ball.
Usually after an early goal like Valley had, pace of play would really generally speed up, but after that goal, it seems like they've kind of slowed down.
Now all the way down the field. Goodwin able to handle it. Goodwin trying to clear it, but she keeps getting it bounced back towards her by this Valley team. And that ball is chased out of bounds. It will be a Hills ball. Mia Lombardi to pass it in. Ava Osbach on it. Now she passes it back to Goodwin. Now that's passed all the way down the field, intended for Bradley. Bradley trying to use her speed to get there, but that ball goes out of bounds. It will be an Indians ball. Hills ball now. Season Tone to pass it in. Excuse me, that was Stadrowski, I believe. And now Bradley. Looking for an open player in the room, but she Isn't really able to find one. Now Goodwin on the defense. And now here is Weiss. And that ball goes out. It'll be a Hills ball. Now passed high and in to Carney. Now Lombardi on the ball. And she passes it back to Osbach. And now here's a pass to Weltman. Weltman able to keep it in bounds. Centers it. But the defense was there. But still in the Wayne Valley zone. Now Weltman with a defender close on her. She gets pushed down, and there's no call on that play. And now the whistle will be blown. It'll be Sophia Bradley on this penalty kick here. Passes it in. Shot taken, but the defense able to handle it. And now Goodwin trying to keep it in the zone. Goodwin kicks it deep in, and that goes just wide of the goal.
With all those players kind of clumped up in there, didn't seem like Goodwin really had much of a choice. It did go a little bit wide, but she had a good enough power kick to reach the goal.
Now Goodwin chasing after it. But Josic is there. She takes a shot. That goes wide. And it will be kept in play. Ramos to keep it in play here. And Weltman kind of clears it and kicks it out of bounds. Hammer passing it in. Weltman staying on it. And now Weiss on the ball for Hills. Using her speed to get it down the field. Looking for an open player. And now this pass to the far corner of the field where Bradley is there. And Bradley will be able to keep it in. Bradley centers it. Takes a shot. And that is knocked away. She passed it nicely in towards Carney. But Carney not able to get a shot off as the defense as well as the goalie was there to knock that away with 26-19 to go in the first half. It'll now be Weltman to pass it in. Pass it to Lombardi. Weltman keeps it in again. And that's kicked out. Mia Lombardi passes it in. Takes a shot. Oh, almost went through the goalie there. That was a shot taken by Chara Seasontone, but Astrid McGraw, the goalie, was there to handle it. Now Lombardi passes it down the field to Carney. Now that's over the Weltman. And that's taken by Seasontone. Now Bay Kazan on the ball. Passes it over to Weltman. Weltman centers it. Intended for Carney, but the defense was there. Now, nice pressure here by Hill, keeping it in the Wayne Valley zone. On the far end of the field, that's just capped in. Season Tone centers it. That's over to Carney, but Carney not able to quite handle it. And now Lombardi unable to do anything with it. Osbach passes it over to Sadrowski. Sadrowski leaves it for, that was Bradley leaving it for Sadrowski. And that goes out. It'll be a Hills ball. Sadrowski passes it in. There's Bradley on it. Bradley with some nice moves there. Bradley gives it to Weltman, but Weltman not able to take a successful shot, and that goes wide with 23:49 to go in the first half.
Harsh bounce there to Weltman. Bradley had a great look at the goal. Unfortunately, that defender did come in. Great pass to Weltman. Unfortunately, that awkward bounce did get her in the end, as it was kind of a weird movement to get to the ball, and unfortunately, it did end up going wide.
Now Weiss on the ball. On the far end of the field. Weiss with a nice move. She passes it back to Sadrowski. And that is over to Bay Kazan. And now to the near side to Weltman. Now Mia Lombardi on the ball. Deflects off a Wayne Valley defender. Now Lombardi trying to get some possession here. Looking to center it. Shot was taken there by Weiss, but that is blocked away. Hill's ball. It'll be Lombardi to pass it in to Weltman. Bay Kazan now. But now, with possession, is the Indians. That is cleared out of bounds. Whistle is blown. And it looks like substitutions will be made. Now, that is centered towards the middle, but Weltman is there. Really no players in white near her. Now Carney chasing after it with some nice speed there, but that is cleared out of bounds by Juliana Vivino. Bay Kazan to Bradley, and Bradley leaves it for Weiss. Weiss over to Sadrowski. Sadrowski looking for an opening. Hills player. Now Season Tone passes it towards the center, towards Bradley. Bradley trying to have some nice moves, but Tori Ryan able to knock it away from her. Now Hills able to get possession back. Captain bounds by Lombardi. Season Tone on the ball. Now here's Osbach. Passes it to the far end of the field to Sadrowski. Now Sophia Bradley looking for Weltman, but the defense was there. Lombardi passes it in to Bay Kazan. Passed across the field to Sadrowski. Over to Weiss. Sadrowski in for Carney. Now Weltman chasing after it. But the defense there and scooped up by McGraw. Nothing she is not able to handle. Now that is deep into the Hill zone. Passes it back to Lasario, and now over to Strosky. Now to Goodwin. That pass is knocked down. Goodwin trying to make another attempt here. She's able to, well, that was intended for Bradley, but that went out of bounds. It is a Hills ball. Now that's passed deep down the field. Looked like that was intended for Wellman, but Wellman is not able to get there.
A lot of these passes from Hills players have been insanely overshot. I mean, that one wasn't even really close to the intended target. That's definitely something they got to work on, accuracy-wise, is not overshooting the target.
Season Tone with some nice moves. But that is knocked away and out of bounds. That was Ramos there. Here's Osbach to pass it back to Lasario. And Lasario over to Goodwin. Goodwin passes it. That's the Carney. And Bradley ran into the defender. Shot taken by Weltman. That goes right into Bradley as she was on the ground. And that is deflected out by a Hills player, which is such an unfortunate situation there.
A lot of these players have kind of slowed down, and unfortunately, a lot of them have been playing a lot more messy. I mean, they really got to focus on more accurate shots. As that shot hit into their own teammate.
Weiss on the ball. Now Weiss centers it, and that is scooped up by McGraw. Usbach looking to clear it. That ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a Hills ball. With 16:27 to go in the first half. Weiss with some nice moves. Whistle is blown on that play. It'll be an Indians ball. Now that's passed in, but Lasario able to make that save. She rolls it over to Goodwin. Goodwin kind of tripped up there. And Valley with the ball. Centers it. And that catch was made by Lasario. Pretty good crowd here tonight, as both these teams are from the same exact town, so you can kind of expect that you'll see a lot of people from both teams. You see a student section for both the schools here, as well as plenty of other people, as that pass is centered and off to the side of the goal. And that ball goes out. It'll be Sidrowski to pass it in for Wayne Hills. That's kept in. Weiss on the ball. Passes it to Season Tone. Tripped up. And now this is Torrey Ryan who passes it over to the far end of the field. And now Josic on the ball. Nice defense there. Looking to clear it. Bay Kazan, she finds Weiss. And that was some nice defense there by Valley, as Bradley would have been wide open there for that pass. Chara Season Tone passes it to, intended for Weltman, but that ball will go just out of bounds before Weltman's able to make it there with 13:20 to go in the first half.
Most of their passes so far have been a bit too powerful, and a lot of them have been to the right side of the field, most of which to Weltman. It's something about that accuracy when it comes to kicking the ball to the right side that's really been destructive towards them so far.
Now, that ball goes all the way back to McGraw, who's looking for an open player to pass it to. And she will just pick it up. Kicks it up and down the field. Nice skills there. A little nice header. Pass back to Lasario, who kicks it way down the field. Now, Sophia Bradley. Getting past all those defenders. And that ball went all the way down, but Weltman just didn't really seem to follow it, and that went to Astrid McGraw, the goalie. Now that's down on the far end of the field. Back to Lasario. She passes it to Sadrowski. Sadrowski able to keep it in bounds. Now chasing after it is Osbach. And over to Weltman. Weltman finds Carney. Back to Weltman. And that goes just out of bounds on that play.
Past minute or so, the Patriots have done a lot better job at, pushing that ball forward down the field. Something they did struggle with early on in the half.
Hammer and passes it over to Emily Bolson. And scooped up by Lasario. Now she kicks it down the field. Carney. Not really able to do much with it, and that goes to McGraw, the goalie. With about 10 minutes to go in this first half. That's to Lee. Now Ramos on the ball. Breaking through the defense, and she takes a shot that goes wide to the left of the goal. And substitutions will be made. It looks like Carney will be coming out. And Sydney Chesson will be coming in. As well as a few other substitutions we see Bay Kazan going out. And we see Dara Golden now in the game for Lily Weltman. Season Tone passes it over to Golden. And Golden chasing after it. But Josic too quick. Here's Lee on the ball. And that ball goes out of bounds. It is Hill's ball. Now, Zadrowski passes it back to Osbach. Now, Sophia Peterson now in the game. Ramos. And that pass is intercepted over to Bradley. That went out on Wayne Valley. It'll be Mia Lombardi to pass it in. Over to Season Tone. Not really able to make a play there in the Wayne Valley zone. That's passed over on the near side of the field to Golden. Golden to Bradley. Weiss chasing after it. And that ball centered. There's Chesson, but that is cleared by the defense in Josic. Now Golden makes it past to Peterson, but that goes out of bounds with 7:23 to go in the first half.
Once again, Hill's really, doing a great job offensively in this, latter part of the first half. They've been great at pushing the ball forward. They've been a lot better on defense as well, looking like a whole new team.
Kept in bounds, kind of back and forth between both teams. It's over to Osbach. And over on the far end of the field, Lombardi chasing after it, able to keep it in bounds. And that is just in bounds there. There's Sophia Bradley on the ball. She centers it. That was over to Sydney Chesson, but Chesson not able to get a shot off from it. That was a really nice setup there, but Chesson just not able to handle it with about 6:08 to go in the first half. Now here's Weiss. Passes it over. Weiss again. That is cleared by the defense. Goodwin just able to keep it in. And a whistle is blown. It'll be a Wayne Valley ball. I'm not quite sure what just happened on that play. Kept in bounds there. Season Tone. Now. That is passed down the field. Chasing after it is Golden. But that is scooped up by McGraw. Garrett Golden is not able to get there in time before it was saved. Now, Weiss trying to keep it in over there. And now it goes to Sidney Chesson, and that ball goes out of bounds. Osbach passes it over to Goodwin. Now, Megan Weiss on the ball. The defense there to break it up. Ramos on the ball. Excuse me. That was Josic on the ball. She gets tripped up. And a whistle is blown.
Fans here at Patriot Stadium definitely not happy over that. It looks like it was a bit of a clean play, but referees are going to call that in Valley's favor, as that'll be a free kick. Very unfortunate. It did look like Golden's foot was right on the ball, but they are going to call that in favor of Jozak.
That's a kick high by Jozek. With 2:20 to go in the first half, Wayne Valley up 1-0. Osbach over to Sidrowski. That just stayed right in bounds. Hunzik. Hill's defense not able to take care of it just yet. And that goes wide to the left. No goal. Be a goalie kick. Bradley on the ball, looking for a little bit of action before the end of the first half, as we're nearing the 1-minute mark. It's now Lombardi into Bradley. That is kicked out of bounds. And it goes out again. It'll be a Wayne Hills ball. About 30 seconds to go in the first half. Clock winding down here at Wayne Hills High School. Now that's passed deep in. And it goes wide. Now 20 seconds to go. And that should do it for the first half here at Wayne Hills High School. Wayne Valley up 1-0. We'll be back for the second half and first half recap in just a few moments.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Positano Pizza, the finest Italian cuisine and pizzeria. Show us your Wayne Hills student ID to get 2 slices of pizza or a bowl of pasta, plus a drink for only $5.
And now welcome back to Wayne Hills High School. where the Wayne Hills Patriots are playing the Wayne Valley Indians. Again, I am Noah Sandler alongside Jason Hook. Now, Jason, why don't you give us a recap on what we've seen so far in this game?
Well, there's only been one goal scored so far, and that was from Kelsey Ramos of the Wayne Valley Indians. A crazy little turnaround shot that was very, very interesting to see go in. And, you know, a lot of pressure has been put on from both teams on the defensive end, but something that Hills has been struggling with is, you know, their offense. They need to do one thing, and that's put the ball in the goal, which, you know, they've definitely been struggling with. A lot of overshots, a lot of bad reads on passes, something they really got to work on. They got to get accurate passes. They got to stop overshooting the ball, and they really got to put their focus into the second half, at least 3 times more focus than they did in that first half. And they can definitely come back and win this.
Yeah, I mean, they've been keeping the pressure on, but they really just haven't been able to get good shots on the goal. I mean, there's been a few nice opportunities where one of the forwards would center it towards the middle, and then nothing would really come of it. It would go wide, it would go high, it would just be saved. I mean, the defense for Valley has looked really good, and I mean, the defense has looked really good for Hills as well. It was just an unfortunate start to the game there with that early goal high to the top left corner of the goal. Just too high for Lasario to handle. But both goalies have looked pretty good. They've made some nice saves as we're getting ready to start off, and it'll be Matty Chesson here for the Patriots to start with the ball. That's passed back to Bradley. Hills will be looking to get some fast action going. You could already kind of see it in their step. They got a little more speed going on. They're trying to make more quick passes, trying to get more stuff done here as that ball goes quickly out of bounds. And that goes out of bounds again. It'll remain Hills' ball. Passed over on the far end of the field. Here's Weiss. Now Weiss passes it in towards Chesson. And here is Valley on the ball. That is Ramos, who passes it in to that was intended for Josic, but Osbach is there to clear it. And Weiss just kicks it out of play. It'll be Josic to pass it in. It'll be a corner kick. Aaron Clark here on this corner kick. Kicked in, and that just goes right behind the goal. I just noticed on my roster for Wayne Valley, there's 2 Josics. Megan Josic, the sophomore, and then her sister, Emily Josic, the senior. Hadn't realized it so far in this game, but I'll definitely be sure to call out their first names when either of them has the ball. Bradley passes it across the field. Weltman tries to keep it in bounds, and that goes out. It will be a Wayne Valley ball. Ball goes out again. Valley ball. Missed there by the defense. That ball is cleared. Just kept in bounds. But O's back there to break that pass up. Now here's Carney. Shot taken. Saved by Lasario. That was Torrey Ryan on that shot. Now Season Tone chasing after it, and it goes out. Now Carney able to keep it in bounds, passes it to Chesson. Carney on the ball again. And now Chesson looking to keep it in with few defenders near her. And it goes out, and it will be a Hills ball. That's passed in. Chesson on it. And it goes out. It'll be Valley ball. Now Carney on it. Here's Weltman. Weltman with a nice move there. And now Bradley's chasing after it. Bradley takes a shot, and that goes wide. .34-18 to go in the second half. That was Torrey Ryan on it. And now that pass is intercepted by Weiss. Weiss passes it to Bradley. Bradley takes a shot that is deflected wide of the net. Torrey Ryan. And now here is Season Tone. Chase after, and that is saved by McGraw. Ramos on the ball. That was knocked away there by Osbach. Wide open shot that is kicked high. That was Elisa Wasakic.
Very high shot there. Another one through the uprights. I saw a few of those from Hills. It's almost like that side of the field is cursed. A lot of overshots so far on that side, and that's 2 for Valley in this half.
Sadrowski to pass it in. Over to Carney. That ball goes out. It'll be Hill's ball. Season Tone. to Weiss. Couple players knocked down there. They're going to call that in favor of Hills. Knocked away. Now, Sydney Chesson after it. Now, Sadrowski in towards Season Tone. Weltman centers it. And Bradley takes a shot that goes just off the crossbar and out. Nice pass and a nice shot there over to Sophia Bradley, but she had a defender very close on her, and that shot went just high off the crossbar, up, and right below the uprights.
Looked like that ball hit off the hand of the goalie, and coaches at Wayne Hills also believe so.
Looked like a yellow card was just called. Not sure who that was against. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Sadrowski to pass it into Season Tone. Out again. Now Valley ball. That is passed in, and it goes wide and out of bounds. Hills ball. Knocked down was Goodwin. That'll be Hills ball. Ball goes out again. Now it will be Valley ball. It is Hills ball. That is Weltman over on the far end of the field. She passes it in. That ball goes out again. Shot taken. And that is a goal for Wayne Valley. Losario not able to make the save on that shot. 2-0 Valley.
And what a shot that was, taken from about the 20-yard line, all the way from that crazy angle, and it just reaches into the bottom corner of that goal. Another crazy shot that went in. We saw one earlier that was very impressive, and this one tops that last one.
Not sure who scored that one for Valley, but now Hills has even more work to do within the last 27 and a half minutes of this game. Carney. Lombardi back and forth between Carney and Lombardi, and that ball goes out. It'll be Maddie Testa. Now Lombardi passes that in. Now Goodwin. Back to Osbach. That is kicked deep in. Now, that is scooped up by McGraw. Torrey Ryan with some nice moves. That ball goes out of bounds. Hill's ball.
Strong misfire there. A lot of the passes so far in the second half have been off target. A lot of them in the first half from Hills were a lot less accurate. Hills has definitely stepped up the accuracy of their passes, while Valley's passes have definitely been overshot.
Now Losario passes it in. That's followed by Weltman. Weltman with possession. Weltman over the Bradley. Now Season Tone. Now Weiss passes it to Lombardi. And now Season Tone on the ball. She gives it to Weiss. That is kicked away. Osbach passes that in, intended for Chesson. Chased after by Weltman, but that ball goes out of bounds. Now Sophia Peterson passes it in to Weiss. Tripped up. And a whistle is blown in favor of Hills. Passed in takes a shot, and that is saved by McGraw.
Another great save there by Astrid McGraw. Going into this game, she had 41 saves. Definitely a great goalie. Hardly anything gets past her, especially as we've seen in this game.
Nice moves there. And that is broken up. Now that is over to Bradley. Bradley trying to keep possession of it. Takes it for herself. She takes a shot, and that is saved by McGraw. Carney passes that in, but that pass is broken up. Now Season Tone on the ball. She passes it back to Peterson. Now that is over to Weltman. Weltman looking for an open player in maroon. Looking for Carney, but the defense was there to break that up. Now Goodwin and Weiss. Hill's just looking for some sort of energy here in the last 20 minutes of this game, because they got to score at least 2 goals in order to turn this into a winnable game. Here's Lombardi. Lombardi passes it deep. Carney's there to take care of it, looking to center it. Unable to. That ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Lombardi to pass it in. Whistle's blown. Substitutions will be made, as we see Season Tone and Sydney Chesney going out. And we see Blake Niesenson, as well as Bae Kazan in for Wayne Hills. That is centered. McGraw able to take care of it. Blake Niesenson, the freshman, has played in a few games this year. She has 1 assist on the year. Now Carney. Passes it through the legs of Maddie Testa. Lombardi keeps it in. Ball goes out of bounds. Now passed in to Weiss. That is passed in. Niesenson chasing after it, but that ball goes out.
Niesenson making a great early start to her soccer career as just a freshman. A lot of great players on this team started off as a freshman. Currently, Chara Seasonstone is one of the starters as well in her first year.
Bradley takes a shot, and that is saved by McGraw. Nice shot there by Sophia Bradley, but an even better save by Astrid McGraw, the senior.
Another high shot there from Sophia Bradley, something this team really has to work on. They got to keep it lower in order to keep it less predictable.
And the shot taken, and that goes just wide of the goal. Now, Hill's looking for some sort of action here. It looks like they're very close to getting it after some nice opportunities. By Kazan, passes it to Niesenson. Now Lombardi, over to Bradley, and Bradley's shot goes wide right of the net. And the substitution will be made for Wayne Valley.
Too many shots have been going wide. Too many have been going too high. They really got to focus on that accuracy. She's got to stop the ball right before kicking in order to get that within the goal.
That is Emily Josic in for Gabby Hammer. Bradley with some nice moves. Passes it to Carney. Carney with some nice moves as well. She's able to get it back to Lombardi. Lombardi passes it deep in. Not able to handle it. Now Peterson chasing after it. And that ball goes out of bounds. It will be Wayne Valley ball. With 15:16 to go in the game. Another substitution will be made as Emily Bolson is leaving the game for Wayne Valley. And now Weiss, and that ball goes out of bounds. Bay Kazan. And that is saved by McGraw. Losario passes it over to the side to Goodwin. Goodwin to Lombardi. Emily Josic on the ball. That ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Hill's ball. Another substitution will be made. Season Tone will be coming into this game, and it will be Carissa Goodwin coming out. Bay Kazan passes to Niesenson. Blake Niesenson passes it back to Chara Season Tone. Now Peterson to Weltman. That was looking to be centered to Blake Niesenson. And now Weiss back over to the ball. Now Mia Lombardi. That is kept in bounds by Carney. Nice moves there by Carney. As she looks to pass it into Niesenson. Niesenson back to Season Tone. That's passed over to Weltman. Weltman looking for an open shot. Weltman gets knocked down. No whistle is blown. And Osbach chasing after it for Hills. And here is Weiss. Over to Bay Kazan. Now that's kept just in by Lombardi, but it looks like it will be called out of bounds. Whistle was blown. It'll be Maddie Testa to pass it in. Picked up by Losario. Looking for an open Hills player, and she will kick it down the field. O's back. Over to Lombardi. And there's Weiss with the ball. Weiss gives it to Peterson. And Bradley chasing after it, using her speed to her advantage. And she centers it. And Carney takes a shot that's blocked away, and another shot was taken by Neesenson that goes wide of the goal. Still 2-0 Wayne Valley with about 10 minutes to go in the game.
Great hustle there by Sophia Bradley tracking down the ball. It's one of her three, main skill sets. She's insanely accurate. She's got a lot of power in her kick, and she's fast. She can get to the ball in an instant.
That was passed in, but Ramos there to break that up. Here's Tori Ryan chasing after it for Wayne Valley. She passes it in. That is kicked off to the side by Peterson, who gives it right back over to Tori Ryan. And now Osbach trying to get it out of the zone. That ball is kicked down the field. And that goes out of bounds. It will be a Hills ball. That'll be Weltman passing it into Neesenson. Nice slide move there by Seasonstone. Whistle's blown. That will be in favor of Hills. Kicked away over to Lombardi by Losario. Now Mia Lombardi. Her pass gets intercepted by Testa. Here was Megan Josic. That ball goes back and out of bounds. That is going to be called Valley ball. Looked like it was out on Valley. I'm not really sure what the refs were seeing on that play. Now Bay Kazan passes it over to Weltman. Weltman chasing after it, using her speed. And she passes it in, intended for Bradley, but that gets broken up by Emily Josic. Now Weltman to pass it in. That ball goes back to Lombardi. Lombardi with a little bit of time. Passed in towards the middle, and that goes wide of the goal. That was a shot taken by Lily Weltman. With 7:05 to go in the game. .640 to go in the second half. It will be Lombardi to pass it in. That ball goes back to Osbach. And over to Peterson. And that ball goes out. That pass was intended for Weltman. And now Valley taking a shot, and that is a goal. Kelsey Ramos with her second of the game, high over the head of Losario to make it a 3-0 game in favor of the Wayne Valley Indians.
That'll be Ramos' 16th goal so far this season and her second this game. The Indians are now up 3-0. Something I've seen a lot. We've done a few soccer games so far this season, and something I've seen a lot towards the end of the games, there's a lot more back and forth between teams. Games start to slow down a little bit more. If there's any time to really bring the heat, it's right now. They gotta focus up because they're still not really out of this game.
Yeah, I mean, the clock winding down, about 5.5 minutes to go. They have a big mountain to climb here to make a push to win this game. Ramos on the kick. And that ball goes out of bounds. It's Hill's ball. Lombardi to pass it in. She gives it the season tone. Hill's ball again. Picked up by McGraw with 4:20 to go. That ball is chased after by Ramos along with Lombardi. Ramos with some nice pressure there on Losario, trying to make a play off the goalie. Now Bay Kazan with the ball. Now Bradley after it. And that is broken up by the defense. Now Carney into Bradley. Over to Season Tone. And Bradley takes a shot that is saved by McGraw. A shot right there on the ground with 3 to go in the second half. Ball passed in by Lombardi. Now cleared towards the Hills end of the field. Now O's back to keep it in with a little bit of pressure there by Ramos. Now Bay Kazan. And that goes in. Weltman chasing after it. And a diving save by Astrid McGraw. Lombardi over to Weiss. And now that goes to Peterson. And out of bounds. Passed into Nielsen. Kicked deep down the field by Ramos to Lasario. Lasario not able to handle it with 40 seconds to go in the second half. Now Lombardi passes it back to Osbach. Osbach on the ball in the last 20 seconds of the game. Now Carney. That ball goes out of bounds. And that will do it here at Wayne Hills High School. Game over. Wayne Valley 3, Wayne Hills 0. Jason, what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, you know, it's definitely a tough loss for Hills. Two very close teams. Unfortunately, they couldn't get any goals in. They did let up three pretty interesting goals that went in, two of which from Ramos, two very crazy goals for Ramos, both of which were kind of turnaround. And then that one that was from, I believe, Emily Jozak, that was like a very deep one from around the 20-yard line. They did give up a lot of, interesting goals that, maybe shouldn't have went in, but it was definitely a tough loss for them. And going into the next game, they're definitely going to have to step things up.
Yep, now their record is 9-2-1. Well, that about wraps things up here at Patriot Stadium. Once again, the final score, Wayne Valley 3, Wayne Hills 0. For Jason Hook, I am Noah Sandler, and we will see you next time here on Wayne Hills TV.